Okay, so what if the very things that made you a top performer are now the biggest threat to your success? Today, we're going to dive into a whole new set of rules for peak performance, and it's not about grinding harder. It's about working smarter and, most importantly, avoiding that burnout trap that catches so many A players.
Does this feel familiar to you? You know that feeling, right? Constantly pushing, grinding, but still feeling like you're just running on fumes? Well, you're not alone. For so many of today's high achievers, this feeling of being totally maxed out isn't just a once-in-a-while thing, it's basically the new normal.
So, does any of this just hit a little too close to home? That phone that feels like it's glued to your hand, sending that one last email late into the night, or just that constant feeling of always doing something, but never truly resting? Yep, these are the classic signs that top performers report when they're on the fast track to complete and total burnout. And all of this leads us to a really critical point. We are in the middle of a full-blown burnout epidemic. And the old playbook, the advice to just grind harder, it isn't just failing us. It's actually making the entire problem worse.
It's this crazy paradox, isn't it? The very qualities that got you to where you are, that relentless drive, that hustle, are now the biggest risk to your long-term career. That old path to success, it isn't a path anymore. It's a trap, and it's time for a new map.
So why does this trap even exist? Well, it's because of a huge kind of counterintuitive idea that we've all been sold, that our whole definition of productivity is just broken. We've been taught to worship at the altar of busy, but you know what? It's a false idol.
And this quote right here, man, it just nails it. The new skill isn't about doing more stuff. It's about achieving more with way less frantic effort. This is a complete paradigm shift from how pretty much all of us were taught to think about work.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy idea. There's hard data to back it up. What we love to call multitasking is really just rapid task switching. And the cost is absolutely staggering. Every single time you switch tasks, you lose focus, you lose context. And as this research shows, it can literally drain up to 40% of your productive capacity. Just think about that for a second. 40% of your day just gone.
This slide breaks it down so well, showing the two paths we can take. Over on the left, you've got the old way, sequentialism. It's reactive. It's just about checking off boxes. But on the right, you have essentialism, the disciplined pursuit of what truly deeply matters. And that requires actually creating space to think and reflect.
Okay, think about it like this. A professional athlete, do they just crash on the couch after a huge game? No way. They have intentional recovery, ice baths, massage, physical therapy. Well, as a top performer in your field, you are a corporate athlete. Your brain is your #1 muscle, and it needs specialized, intentional rest to perform at its absolute peak. So, if the solution isn't just a better to-do list, then what is it? This is where we flip the script. We pivot from focusing on the external world to the internal one. You see, sustainable peak performance starts with mastering your own mind and emotions. Control your inner world, and the outer world will follow.
And this brings us to, well, kind of the holy grail of peak performance, the flow state. You know this feeling. It's that magic state where you're so deep into a task that time just disappears. You're not thinking, you're just doing. It's where our absolute best work comes from, and crucially, it's a skill you can actually learn to cultivate.
So how do we get there? Well, the secret isn't about gritting your teeth and just pushing through the pain. It's actually the opposite. It's about developing the mental toughness to observe your thoughts and feelings without letting them control you. And honestly, there's no better example of this than the Navy SEALs.
There's this incredible story about a trainee named Richard Moffichewicz. He's in the freezing ocean, totally exhausted, in agony. And right there, in that moment, he has this massive breakthrough. He realizes the pain is just a sensation. The exhaustion is just a feeling. It doesn't define him. He could separate himself from it and keep going. That right there is true mental toughness.
Now, it might sound complex, but it really boils down to this simple 3-step formula. First, you have to intentionally relax the mind. From there, you can access that creative space between your thoughts. And with practice, you can learn to sustain that state of flow for longer and longer periods.
Okay, so let's get really practical. I'm going to give you 2 incredibly simple, but seriously powerful tools you can start using today to bring more focus and flow into your own life.
That's it, just 60 seconds. Seriously, that's all you need to get started. The first tool is called the micro break, and its real power isn't just how simple it is. So here's how it works. Once an hour, just stop.
For 60 seconds, do a simple relaxation exercise, like focusing on your breath. Then, consciously reset your intention for what you're going to do in the next hour. It's a tiny, tiny investment that pays huge dividends in clarity and focus.
All right, now let's zoom out and compare two totally different days. On the left, a typical reactive day. You're just constantly putting out fires. On the right, you've got a designed peak performance day. See the shift in power? Instead of reacting to your phone first thing, you proactively take tech-free time to center yourself. Instead of letting emails run your life, you carve out focus blocks for your most important work. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own schedule and being the pilot. This isn't about more hours. It's about taking back control of the hours you already have.
So when you put all this together, what does it all add up to? It's a complete redefinition of what peak performance even means. It's this radical idea that you don't have to choose between massive success and your own well-being. They can, and they absolutely should, coexist.
And if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. It's not about cramming more stuff into your day. It's about having the wisdom and the discipline to focus only on what is essential. The goal is to shift your entire mindset from doing more to doing less but better. So I'm going to leave you with this question. And forget about adding something new to your plate. To start this journey, what is one thing, just one, that you can intentionally do less of tomorrow to create a little more space for what truly matters?